This video shows how to identify and repair weak transitions in design reasoning. Small evidence can still be valuable, but it needs bounded language. Do not turn a few interviews into a universal statement about all users. Report the pattern in the sample and context you studied. You can say that several participants showed a behavior or that the evidence suggests a possible issue. You can then explain what needs more investigation. Overgeneralizing makes a claim sound stronger than the research allows. It also makes it harder for a design team to know where the finding applies and where it might not. Suppose a student writes, "People hate checkout. This claim does not identify who was studied, what happened, or why the conclusion was reached." A repair could be, "Several participants hesitated during checkout when cost details were not visible." This version names the observed behavior and condition. It avoids assigning a universal attitude. If participants directly said that checkout was frustrating, you can include that evidence, but still state whose experience was observed and in what task. A pattern can invite a tempting explanation that the research did not establish. Repeated checking might suggest uncertainty, but it does not automatically prove anxiety, low confidence, distrust, or a stable personality trait. Look for direct support in participant language, observed action, and context. Separate what was demonstrated from what is only possible. If you need to use a tentative interpretation, signal it with language such as may indicate or suggests. Good reasoning does not remove all uncertainty. It makes uncertainty visible and manageable. In the payment example, we observed people double-checking the total and returning to an earlier screen. Those actions support a claim about hesitation or verification. If someone said, "I am worried I will be charged the wrong amount," you can report that statement. Without such evidence, writing that participants are anxious goes too far. Anxiety is a stronger psychological claim than the observed behavior alone can support. A safer insight connects the checking to uncertainty about cost visibility and leaves emotional interpretation open. Phrases such as improve usability, make it clear, and make it better do not define a system responsibility. They describe an intention, but they do not tell the team what needs to change or how the change should respond to the insight. Replace abstract language with a behavior that the system must support. State what should be visible, available, understandable, or recoverable, and connect that requirement to the observed tension. Specific wording makes later design decisions easier to compare. The implication makes saving clearer is too vague. A more actionable version is this. System must provide visible confirmation that remains accessible after the save action completes. This version responds to the uncertainty in the evidence. It also gives a prototype team a testable direction. They can ask whether people notice the confirmation and whether they can find it again when checking their saved item. The final interface could take several forms, but each form must satisfy the stated responsibility. Adding a green checkmark may be one possible response, but it is a feature idea, not an insight or implication. If you start with the feature, you may stop asking what problem it solves or whether another response would work better. First, describe the evidence and insight. Then state what the system must enable. Only after that should you sketch possible features or interactions. This sequence keeps the design open while making the reason for each prototype visible.